So recently I got an email from the lead guidance, navigation, and control engineer at SpaceX, letting me know that the algorithm I developed is going to be used on the human crewed SpaceX vehicle that's going to fly up to the space station. That's even more special. Those are human lives now that are relying on your work. To me, that's what it's all about. I do enjoy sharing my ideas and publishing and that sort of thing, but if nobody uses it, I don't really see what the point is.
I don't want to get too cliche, but it's like honestly how I feel about it, it's like, I don't know, it's like the culmination of like everything. It's like it's like the sun and the earth and Jupiter, and it's like this giant, colossal everything, and somehow we can define like that whole everything. I don't know. What I find so fascinating about orbital mechanics is that we just, from our little reference frame on Earth, even though we're all stuck here and most of us will never leave the Earth, that we can sit here and just using math and observations, we can figure out what's happening out there. So this is now the second paper that I'm publishing and presenting with Blair, and he actually asked me to take the lead on this one. And it's called The Validation of the Laguerre Method for Solving the 8th Order Polynomial for Angles-Only Initial Orbit Determination. Yeah, so my classmates told me that the title was way too long and way too wordy and way too incomprehensible, but I think it makes sense.
A good engineer is creative. If I wasn't allowed to be creative in the military, I don't think I would have stayed in the military as long as I did.
So Blair Thompson started out as a West Pointer and then eventually decided to transition over to the Air Force. And now I believe he is working as an instructor at the Air Force Academy. Blair is a very curious person.
After being in the Army for a few years, I really wanted to go back to graduate school. And I met some resistance, quite a bit of resistance actually. And one was from a career field manager who actually told me I wasn't graduate school material. And he doesn't even know me, we're just talking over the phone. I just thought, like, man, who is this guy to just decide I'm not graduate school material? He's never been a professor or anything like that. If I had just gone with that, then I never would have gone back to graduate school. He did not meet me with any curiosity. Just being shut down like that, I remember that every time I interact with people.
Blair encourages my curiosity by acting like my questions are worthwhile. He's way beyond me in terms of talent, skill. He knows a billion more things about orbital mechanics than I could ever probably hope to gain. I know that he is interested in answering all of my questions, and he's really interested in the fact that I have questions. And there's also these times when I'll pose a question that maybe he hasn't ever considered before, and I can really tell that he's even interested by it. And hopefully, maybe, I don't know, he goes off in his free time and he sits down somewhere for 8 hours and thinks about those same questions. I always had this preconceived notion about military members being way too rugged and conversationally impenetrable, that when I first met Blair and we talked, and it just sounded like I was talking to a person who was very interested and curious in what I had to say, it just kind of completely made a paradigm shift for me.
So one of the things I like most about working with Ryan is his curiosity. An extension of that is the dedication. It isn't just like, he asks a question and then maybe he gets an answer, maybe he doesn't, and then we just move on to the next piece. That is a lot how I am. So I think that's another reason we've connected so well.
So in a few months, I'm going to officially graduate, which means I'll be transitioning from student to unemployed aerospace engineer. And I'm going to have to figure out some sort of path for myself in the next little bit. So there's this sort of feeling that I have with joining a job where it is just so routine that I'm going to go to some place and be fairly financially comfortable for a while, and I'll work there, and then one day I'll wake up and I'm 45. And there's something about the Air Force that seems like this awesome mix of risk, exciting, but also educational, to where I see this version of myself where I've done like this minimum requirement of being in the Air Force for 4 years, and I just see myself with that experience and with that discipline and that knowledge and that background. You know, even if I join the Air Force and it sucks, right? Which I'm not going to say in the video, but if I join the Air Force and it absolutely sucks, I think I'll still be better for it. Or I'll join and I'll discover it's like my passion, it's my possible career, and then I'll stay in for 20 years.
The Air Force was actually founded on taking a risk and being creative. I've been asked, given my education and my interest and my curiosity in engineering, why would I go into the military? Why would I choose the military as a career field? The military needs creativity. The military needs new ideas. We need leaders who are going to encourage the curiosity in people like Ryan in order to capitalize on all that space has to offer.
Blair is definitely not in keeping with my idea of like the Air Force stereotype, but I would like to think that he's representative of most Air Force members.
Equivalent, you can convert those equivalently into position and velocity vectors.
The Laplace method is more algebraic in nature. It actually ends up using Cramer's rule to arrive at a solution, whereas the Gauss method is more geometric in nature.
So I would want Blair to know that I completely appreciate his time and can't imagine all the time that he's given me. And I don't think there's a way I can repay him back, except that I know that it's important to him that one day I become a mentor for someone else in the same way that he's been for me.